Here with Jeremy, adding a new layer of difficulty. What are we doing today?
Stepping down the step now.
Okay.
So before we were doing side stepping, which is still a reasonable way to do it if you need to. If you're feeling like want that extra stability, you can do some side stepping. But you're making nice progress, so we're going to go to the next one, which is one-handed. So you're stepping down with the right foot, and then you step down.
Should I make that a routine? Always with the right. Start with the right.
Foot, yeah. So that's the rule of thumb there.
Okay, I'm going to get on there and do it. I think I got it.
All right.
Just try to stay with me in the frame.
Yeah.
I do want to go over a little something. It's rolling, so we'll keep it going.
Okay.
I do want to go over a little something with you, and that is how the prosthetist, it didn't do it on purpose, mind you. I have issue with other shoes, including the new shower shoes, which I'm stoked about. But and I'm not using the correct term, but the level of the footing differs from the current that are not waterproof shoes.
Yeah.
So I found myself uneven, and it creates unnecessary aches and complaints, right? And anything that will throw whoever is watching that is struggling also, or challenged, shall we say, going through rehab, that there's so many things, and we just finished talking about it, Jeremy. If you want to, while I'm going about it,
sure.
If you want to talk about that, there is this thing about discouragement that creeps in, and that people just sort of just give up, or
it's part of that section of the brain called the amygdala, and its job is to protect us. But the problem is that it can be also inhibitory, and so a lot of times people will find that it's just too difficult to do something, and will default to the routine, and that defaulting of the routine means that you don't make progress. Because there's some learning to be done there, but that section of the brain is more interested in keeping you safe. So when you feel vulnerable or you're having difficulties moving around, typically a person will not want to do something. But if you break it apart into small pieces, take it step by step, more likely to make progress.
So I don't know if y'all were noticing, or if you did you get the foot? I was trying to do what you were saying about the 45 degree.
Yep.
And for the most part, because that's the first time trying it, just letting my therapist know that for the most part, I felt most comfortable. You want to come over here? I'll show you. When I was keeping this at least a foot behind,
Sure. Yeah.
it felt most comfortable. And on a couple of occasions when I felt a little bit wobblier, I actually hugged it a little more. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Starting?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you're just kind of helping to shift your center of gravity back a little bit, and that's definitely more comfortable.
Be on the lookout for this week will be some vids and content that is a little more retrospective as to the journey and how we've gotten to where we are. This 29th of August is 2005, Hurricane Katrina is when this whole thing started. It's trying to get the word out to people in an era when none of that really existed. Now I'm going to add an extra 60 seconds. I may have to edit this for this, but even through today, the most dangerous stuff that I was putting out there, that I was publishing, dangerous to them, not to them, to them, was this thing that doesn't exist except I have it archived. And I'll explain, was something that I called Taxi Church. So it all began because of all the platforms, and I was doing stuff even before any platforms, mind you, Facebook had a feature where you could go live. So I was in the cab, but I always felt like the Lord was not only talking to myself, but my taxi customers, playing music through classic rock that never had any specifically intention specific to awakening the spirit, but I was able to, wealth transference might be a term that we could use here, that is used in my area of expertise in studying at seminary, where you're using things that were meant for the enemy, maybe for purposes of vanity, then to steer it towards the only thing that we should be boasting and proud about is up there, is high command. So music such as, I've said this again and again, the lyrics as if God is singing a serenade to the person in the cab or to myself. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? How my poor heart aches with every step I take, every move you make, every vow you fake, every bond you break. I forget the last one. Name the artist for a chicken dinner.
Police.
Yes, Sting. That's right.
Sting.
Winner, winner. So what happened and what was verboten was absolutely forbidden, and they had a conniption, and I was big bullseye on my forehead from downstairs. You're welcome. That's real leadership taking it for the team. Public enemy number one. I was one of the first people ever to start going like a madman, and I'm going to share an archived version of it. Jeremy, just so you know, and maybe this will change, but the company called Vimeo that allows you to record and keep videos is out of the jurisdiction of the Brits and the Americans, which kind of had a stranglehold over the whole YouTube thing. So I was doing live on Facebook, Zuckerberg, excuse me. I was doing the music in the background, and I was going live. And I had people from all over the world loving that particular very powerful ministry. Listen, I'm not boasting in myself. Look at the example and you make the decision yourself. And I was waxing nostalgia, going over the 20-year stuff of late, getting what am I going to share with people from before. And I definitely have one, if not two, three, that I've saved that I'm like, oh man, this is so good. It's still so very good, so very powerful. Still hasn't lost its strength. And, but what happened immediately was, and how times have changed now, the censors, it's almost like Napster, right? Napster rolled this thing out, hey, you can share your files, any file you want, share it. Oh, no, we can't have that, said the people, right? And now YouTube came up, and everybody can share whatever the heck they wanted, right? And now something else came up, yours truly. Oh, no, we can't have that, and until I'm about to explain what happened. And then now suddenly, with the era of the explosion of competition to YouTube, with these other social media outlets, like TikTok in particular, which is out of the jurisdiction of America, UK, it's China, right? And if America buys it, this is going to create another little complication. But let me explain and then I'll wrap it up. YouTube had a conniption fit over what I was doing because I was getting offers. I'm not adding or embellishing. I was getting offers to do what I'm talking about here, what I'll share with you, to go and do it live around the world. I got offers to be, somebody would pay the money for me to go. Who knows if there was an assassination attempt awaiting, far away. Only the Lord knows. And I couldn't go. I said, I have responsibilities. I have things going on here. But YouTube suddenly started saying, on all the stuff I did, copyright infringement. Copyright infringement. You cannot show this. This is forbidden. We're tearing your video down. We're tearing the whole thing down. Facebook did the same thing. I was way out in front of all of that. Now, you can pretty much, and I was even thinking about this, like, DJs are always mixing songs on, and they're making money. They're DJs. That's what they do for a living. So they're mixing, and they call it in the vernacular of legality. They're calling it sampling. So they sample seconds of it, but they mix stuff hybrid. They didn't pay royalties for that. You can't tell me that. And people with vanity, beautiful ladies singing songs. They're mouthing the song like Milli Vanilli, but they're singing songs and they're acting like the other one's singing it, and they're not. How do I know this? More than men singing the song? Because when you flip, the AI is already saying, oh, this is a guy, so I'm going to send him more girls, and vice versa, right? So I find myself going, well, if they put up a fight with copyright infringement once again, because now what's happened is, I mentioned it in a previous post that I can overlap my own voice to music, and it's almost a little snippet of what I used to do in a small strength version, but still very good. Because now with people's attention spans, as you probably know, Jeremy, the 30-second, the 60-second vid is all the time that people have. And it's the one that gets the gigantic number of views. The ones that I used to do half hour, those are dinosaurs now. And that's not the era that we live in any longer. So with that in mind, I better cut the video short. Thanks, Jeremy. And we'll see you guys very, very soon.